Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have the deathbed tag for you. This tag was created by Old Blues Chapter and Verse and Totally Pretentious, and I was tagged by Dane Cobain. Apparently the things in this tag are all to do with what you'd like to spend your final days of life doing, and you know, I love a bit of morbid introspection, and so I think that I might get on with this tag. Firstly, we have, what music do you hope to listen to in the final days or weeks of your life? Apparently there was the whole thing of, provided you're still lucid and conscious in the final days or weeks of your life, be a hospice carer, otherwise what music do you hope to listen to in the final days or weeks of your life? Anyway, honestly, firstly, I'm going with I'm Not Dead by Pink. Then I would like to go with Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. The Pretty Reckless have some songs about death and hell on their second album, which I'd be doing. Basically, I'm going for anything that is going to be to do with death and hell and dying. I want it to drag everyone down, because honestly, I'm an incredibly selfish person. And if I know that I'm about to cark it, right? If that's gonna be what happens to me, and there's might necessarily be the people there who hopefully love and adore me or hate me, you know, sometimes it might be quite humorous to spend your final days with a person that you hate. I doubt that, because probably, well, I know how things would go myself. But yeah, so we've done those. What else would there be? I suppose it'd have to be something that you actually like in there, and I do like those three things. I'd probably listen to anything by Moona, really. I'd have to, whilst Delta Goodrum is a favourite artist of mine, I'd completely be throwing her out the window. I'm not being funny or summing her and that in, but basically, there are songs she's written that are all about death. She's knock knock knocking at the thought of the door. Wish you were here. Wouldn't want to be listening to that sort of thing. I don't want anything depressing. That's the thing. I don't want to be listening to depressive stuff. I want like proper heavy rock music with the occasional pop record in there. I mean, at some point I imagine I'm just going to shove on something really horrible and high-pitched bubblegum pop just to piss people off. But that's the type of person I am. But Bat Out of Hell, definitely there. Definitely. Also Zombie by the Cranberries, including that version, what are they called? Bad Wolves did? Yeah, I think that's what they're called. And yeah, I'd have that there, and I'd have that playing full blast, decibels breaking people's eardrums. It would be fantastic. 2. What novel or novels do you hope to read in the final days or weeks of your life? Oh great. Oh great. Not only am I dying, but now I've got to read as well. I'm just not sure that that's... I understand where we're coming from with this, and it's like, it's just a way of finding out your favourites and books that you'd want to spend your final days with. And, oh, I don't know. Whilst I am morbid and this is something great, I can also see that I wouldn't necessarily be reading. Like, I sat here and I thought about it, and I questioned whether I might turn into a person who in their final days becomes religious, because I've seen that happen to people and they found some solace in that. So would I then end up reading the Bible? But then I also know that I wouldn't find solace in a book that has been rewritten and rewritten throughout history to make it more accessible to the masses. And so I'd want to have actual historical accounts. And they'd probably be a bit dry, and I'd need to learn some ancient archaic form of Hebrew, in which case I'd probably be reading the dictionaries that would translate that, so then I'd need something like a Rosetta Stone, and it just seems like it's taking too much time for me. I might go to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone just in the hopes of actually making one to extend my life, but would you want to prolong the dying? No, I suppose you wouldn't. To actually go properly introspective, like I say, I don't think that in those times I would be looking at other people's works. I might read my own works, just to think, you did this, and this is your legacy. But I wouldn't probably read any of the books on my shelves that I have currently. I hope that this is going to be a long time away and I might have discovered new favourites by then and reached a point in my life, because I can see it happening, me deciding not to read any new books and just sticking to rereading the ones I know I like, so that I never have the tragedy of accidentally dying mid-read. 3. What film or films do you hope to watch? Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, that has always been a favourite of mine. I will definitely be watching that. I will be watching The Muppets Christmas Carol, and I don't care what time of year it is, then we will be watching the Christmas films that I enjoy and adore, and I will probably be watching things that bring me great nostalgia and make me feel some type of way about the past, and make me think about relatives that I have lost, in the hopes that maybe being somewhat spiritual in the future, I will dwell on the time spent with lost family members and just think, you know what, you're going where they are and it can't be that bad. I don't really see me finally getting around to watching The Godfather. That's a statement I've made now. I don't care for films really, so anything too long annoys me. So do you really think, like, I have 3 of the Lord of the Rings special extended editions here, and I've watched them once, and that took my time. And do you really think that I want to lose precious time when I am dying watching films? I don't think so either. 4. What static visual works of art do you hope to spend time with? None. Honestly, none. I love art, I love to look at art, but this is not the time of my life that I am doing that. I'm not picking out a favourite piece of art just to be, oh, this is nice. Might look through a few photograph albums, you know, once again, looking at my own legacy. This is the time of your life in which you can be the most selfish, so don't flame and worry about it. Don't flame and think, oh, well, I never saw this, I never looked at that. Unless I'm able to pull the Mona Lisa off the wall itself and pay for my funeral, I'm definitely not going to seek it out. 5. What poem or poems do you hope to read? Definitely not that flaming Stop All the Clocks one, because I don't want to depress myself. And, poems. I like Sharon Olds, but even she has some depressing stuff there. Everybody does. That's the thing about poetry. We become incredibly maudlin in our poetry. Happy poems tend to seek, you know, they can end up being quite twee, and that's a problem. So we stick to the melancholy and the angry stuff, because a polemic is always more easy for people to find lighthearted and funny than actually just creating something happy and talking about love. I mean, what is love really? But we're not getting into that. I'm not reading love poetry. I'm not reading poetry. This is great. This has helped me figure out all of the things that I am definitely not going to be doing. 6. Is there a religious text or section of religious text that you hope to read? I have covered this already. I would not be reading religious text, not at this current point of my life. I consider it every year, because there is this part of me that is still interested in the historical Christ and the history of the Bible, and I can totally see myself going and reading from the theology section at the library so I can get a better knowledge of the history of where all these people are coming from, and to understand just what has affected this cult of people to basically rule the world. However, I cannot, at my current age, see myself seeking out any form of religious solace, be it from the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, anything like that. And I'm sorry I chose the 3 most popular ones. I couldn't think of any others currently, and I'm definitely not reading the Jedi Handbook. 7. Is there another work of art, drama, dance, non-fiction, what have you... drama, dance, non-fiction, what have you, unrepresented in the previous categories that you hope to encounter one last time? Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker. My sister came home, and as such, I have forgotten where I was in this video, but I think that I had reached the end of all of the things, talking about Tchaikovsky and The Nutcracker and his music making me feel somewhat nostalgic and not having to think too much about death. But, not gonna lie, the deathbed tag did end up being somewhat more morbid than I had anticipated. This is not a problem. I don't mind being morbid and introspective some of the time. I just didn't expect it to get so ranty. Dane usually uses his comments to figure out who he's going to tag. So I think that I might just do that now. So I've gone to my comments, actually managed to click off the whole thing of comments I haven't responded to, because some people I don't respond to. If you've tagged on a video, spoken to me about a video from about 6 years ago, I've not been here 6 years, but you get my drift, I'm not commenting. Anyway, so, wow. Like 5 people, and let's go with Steve Partridge, Emily of Nobel Novels, Leo of a Little Book Life, Cat of Brews and Reviews. And some people haven't commented, but I want to tag them anyway, so again, Charlie of Charlie Brook. I know that you might not want to be tagged at the moment. I get that. I understand that. I'm just mentioning your channel here as a shout out. So feel free not to actually do the tag at all. That is perfectly fine. I would not be mad at you. I wouldn't care. It's just so that people know that your channel's there. You're an awesome person. Great stuff. Next, I'm going to tag Will of Bald Book Geek, Abby of Abby Mac Reads. Sorry, I'm having to find out people's names now. I don't know people's names. I know channel handles. It's a problem. Okay then, Ramsey of Rajathon. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce names. This is a problem. Did I do Rachel of Rachel's Reading Corner and Sophie of Sophie Vlogs like I usually do? Obviously also Emma of Emma Rosen Books. Even though we're at 10, you'll have to go in as special measures? No, that's the wrong word. But I'm sure, in a former career, you have previously heard that word bandied about, so we'll stick with it. It's not like a baker's dozen, because that's 13. It's the other thing. Not special mention either. It is! That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, one of them. If Matthew of MCS Books was wanting to be tagged, he could be tagged too. If you're watching the video and you want to do this tag, then, also feel free to do it. Come into, And next, all I'm going to say is that if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to talk to me more about death and what, destruction and the end of your days, if you want to be somewhat morbid and have things planned, then please feel free to talk about all of that in the comments with me. I have always enjoyed the Addams Family, so there's nothing too grim for me. Anyway, I'm gonna be off because I don't have a drink there, I don't have a drink there, and frankly, this is too much of my face even for you. I hope that you got something out of this video besides sheer boredom, and until next time, that is all.